How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Airport CEO and welcome back to Belfast City Airport. Things are going amazingly well, as they have been for the last little while. And as I've been saying for the last little while, we are getting very close to being done with this particular series of Airport CEO. We've almost done everything there is to do, but I would like to experiment a little bit before we get there, and maybe before we even start working on expanding the new medium terminal that we have all the way down here. Now, if I want to do this, I'm going to have to get rid of the catering depot, and I'm going to have to move both of them rather than get rid of them. And that's going to be tricky since catering needs that outside connection. But basically my thinking would be both of those will probably live down in this corner of the airport, and we'll just bring an outside connection all the way down the side of the map. That's something we can maybe start dabbling in a little bit later. But what I'd like to do to start today is I'd like to look at the security situation on this international terminal, because as we can see, it's sort of consistently terrible. It's consistently taking forever for people to get through security. Now, in saying that, the numbers are looking a little bit better right now, and part of the reason for that is because basically we now have enough security people that these things are always being staffed. We never really have any downtime with the security checkpoints, but we also had, and I'm going to use the word had here for a very specific reason, we had fewer people coming through this airport because the time between flights at one point was an hour, then 45 minutes, then 30 minutes. I've brought it back down to 15 minutes between flights because the auto planner was really not giving us that many flights. And it's really annoying seeing that we have this capacity for 200 flights per day, but we're sitting around 85, 90, 95, and so on. So if we bring the time between them down to 15, we can maybe get an extra flight or two in here and there. And hopefully the auto planner can start to figure things out, because we do have airlines like Allure with some large flights being offered, and we do, I would say, have some space in there for one of those, or even in there for one of those. So it would be nice to see those flights get scheduled. It would also be nice to bring up the airline satisfaction, because Allure is at 3%, Atom Air is at 10%. And I mean, if I look at my general airline satisfaction down here, the average is currently 86%. We're seeing some issues with baggage loaded onto the aircraft. I really don't know what's going on with that. I'm assuming that some way, somehow, we're having some baggage handling problems, and I almost want to say that it maybe is going to be this terminal over here, because I rarely see ramp agents on the ground. I mean, we have them down here doing their thing, but if I look at this one, we have some there as well. The point being that, okay, they're there as well. You know what? There was a time when ramp agents really didn't come out to this terminal, and I just want to look and see. We are doing okay in numbers there for all of the staff, which is great. Right in here, we seem to be doing okay as well. And for the international terminal, which I've had to expand down this way, because apparently there was a job that wasn't assigned to a terminal in this area, which there wasn't, but that's probably left over from the original terminal. We don't have enough service technicians apparently, but everything else is okay. I guess we can fix that, and then I'm going to start looking at this security situation. So what I'm thinking of doing here is something relatively simple that I probably could have done a while ago. I'm going to delete this bathroom, and I'm going to delete this bathroom as well. And I'm going to try and create what I'm going to affectionately call overflow security. And I'm calling it overflow security because I don't know if this makes too much sense. It doesn't really match the design that I've been going for this entire airport. But my thinking is that we take out these bathrooms, we go in here and we place some elevators, or an elevator that's going to bring people upstairs into this area. And then we run them through security the way we are down below. We bring them out down here somewhere, and I can just throw an elevator onto this corner. And essentially that's it. Essentially they come out of the elevator, they go into the same corridor here, and then they go through passport control. I think it's a pretty good layout. I think it will work, and I think it's going to be good given that we're bringing up the number of flights again. My only concern is that we do have some baggage stuff to deal with here. So what we're probably going to have to do is just ever so slightly micromanage where exactly the baggage handling is going to be going. Now, what I could do, if I wanted to avoid going upstairs again, which I kind of do, what I could do is just expand the terminal a little bit, and I think that's probably the easiest thing to do instead of going upstairs. So we're just going to extend this a little bit further, and I'm going to go and just take out this entire section of wall right about here. And then if we go downstairs, the bathrooms are now cleared out, which is fantastic. So if we look at the layouts here, we're going to want to go and say that this entire space is not going to be secure. And we are going to want to do exactly the same thing over on this side. This is not secure anymore either. If we go back to the elevator and we go back underneath, we have got some space to play with. We can't go right in the corner because there's a wall in the way. Now, I could move that. I could move that wall, and I almost want to say that that's probably a good idea. So let's go up here. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and demolish this part. And we'll do the same thing over on this side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and demolish this part. It's probably also worth pointing out that my contractors seem to be a little bit more efficient now that their delivery space and their sort of transit contractor site thing is up here, which is great. It means that I don't feel the need to have the whole auto build thing enabled again. We might have it at some point if I decide to completely build another terminal. Then I'll probably turn off simulated construction, just because, again, as I've explained, I do still have to pay for it. It just skips the hour that I sit and stare at the game as things get built, which is genuinely, that's about all that happens. There's not really a whole lot else to do when you're just kind of waiting on things to be built. You kind of just sit here and hope that your contractors are going to do things quicker than they actually end up doing it, which is, it's just the way of it, really. Anyway, this is where the elevator is going to go. This can still be a bathroom, albeit a bit of a smaller bathroom, and I'm kind of okay with that. We can probably do something kind of symmetrical in there. And by that, I mean symmetrical across both sides of the this part of the terminal. So very quickly, while we're waiting on everything else getting built, we'll do a bathroom here. We will do a bathroom right here. And I think what we'll do is just get a bunch of toilets down the back wall right about here. We'll do the same thing over on the other side with a bunch of toilets down that wall as well. We can get ourselves some sinks for the opposite wall, and the same on the other side. And then all we need is a set of doors for each. We can open it up, we can get the elevators done, and hopefully it's not going to be too long before we can start sending people upstairs and really dealing with this security situation, which, like I said, it's going to get worse. We're bringing in more planes again. We're going to be dealing with more people, and I'm hoping that this will solve that issue of security backing up like crazy. Now, I was going to say that I would just copy and paste a lot of what we've done down here, but apparently when you're copying something, you can't go up and down floors, which I didn't know, but that's apparently a thing, and that's really frustrating because now I have to place one of these, lay out the queue, and then go from there in terms of, you know, copying and pasting all of them at that point, which is, it's not a huge deal. Realistically, it's not the end of the world. It's just a little tiny smidge frustrating. But I think what we'll do here, given that we have this little sort of cutaway space on the inside, is, do I want to make it staff only? I don't know that we need staff only security spaces here, but I don't imagine it's going to do any harm to have some staff only security. I'm also kind of wondering, can I get a medium security thing over here? Unfortunately, no, unless I shuffle all of these over, which actually is probably not a terrible idea. So if I do some medium security right there, I know it's not the most efficient, although I haven't actually done the math on what is the most efficient yet. But if I do something like this, I'm pretty sure that means that this little small security thing, it absolutely does fit right in there, which I think is solid. So that's what we're going to do. And that'll be our little staff thing. And then on the other side, it's exactly the same thing. We want to go and get a bunch of the large security checkpoints. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll get ourselves a medium one for right down at the end there. And that is actually going to have more capacity than the security downstairs. So the overflow security is maybe going to be a little bit more efficient than I actually want it to be, but that'll be all right. Now, in terms of getting people down from the new security space, we're going to want to use elevators again, and I want it to be here. Now, for that to happen, we would need it to be right about there, which I actually don't mind. I think I can make that work. We just need to move some conveyor belts. So let's very quickly move the conveyor belts. We'll get all of this built. We'll get some queues in here. I realize I've just placed everything instead of just placing one and then the queues, but that's fine. Again, the contractors are right here. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so it looks to me like this overflow security idea is absolutely working. And I think overflow is definitely the wrong term to use for this because, like I said, this upper floor of security has higher capacity than downstairs, but we can see that there are definitely more people coming through into passport control at any one time, and we don't have massive queues in any of the security checkpoints at this point. So that's good. That should mean that people are getting to their flights on time. It should mean that we don't have people missing them. It should mean planes are coming and going at more regular intervals, and hopefully that's going to mean that, and we are starting to see 99 out of 200 flights right there, hopefully over 100 tomorrow. Nope, 97, but that's fine. We do still have some space to fill in, and of course we don't have any small stands right now, and we are limited to, what was it, 6 medium stands? Yeah. So I want to say this is good. This has definitely worked how I wanted it to. I don't love this setup. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely not something that I really wanted to do. And again, I think the term overflow security is a little bit misleading because again, it has that higher capacity and, well, honestly, it's just doing a really good job. So we'll just call it expanded security. We'll just say that it's, you know, a massive upgrade because that's basically what it is. So much so that we do have some queues starting to show up in passport control. Although I don't imagine this is going to need an upgrade. I would really hope it doesn't. I'll be really annoyed actually if passport control ends up needing some substantial upgrades, but I'm going to assume that it'll be fine. I'm also thinking it might be an idea to look at getting some shops in here. We haven't done that in this terminal yet, and I'm probably not going to go too crazy with shopping spaces in the other terminals. I think now that people are getting through nice and quickly as well, they have a bit of time to do some shopping. So let's do a shop and we'll do a restaurant is I think what we'll do. So I'm going to do something like this, 29 by 11 for right about there. We'll head over to the other side and this one can be a food room and it's going to be 25 by 11, which again, it's not, things aren't symmetrical, but it's totally okay. Basically, oh man, that blue and red grid every single time I try to build something, it's genuinely, hold on. I've got sunglasses on my desk. I'm not even kidding. That's so much better. I'm not even kidding. I have some prescription sunglasses. They're like, they make everything a really nice sort of warm tone and tan. I'm genuinely, you can believe it or you cannot, I've genuinely reached for a pair of sunglasses because it makes looking at this for extended periods of time that little bit more bearable. So yeah, man, it's rough. I really I would love to see a sequel to this game for one, and I would love to see that sequel kind of do away with this really, just tone the colors down, man. Just a little bit. That's all they need is brought down a little bit. Now, can I get I absolutely can get a 5-star place in here, which is fantastic. We have the space for it. We would need 5 cooking stations, 6 modular sofas. We need some hedges and some cafe counters. So 5 cooking stations. How are we going to do this? That's the real question. So counters, cooking stations. Now they are this size. So what kind of space are we working with here? Let's do 1, 2, 3. And I'd love to lay them out like this, but we unfortunately can't. So we'll do 4 and 5. That seems excessive. Do I want them like this? I don't know. I could space them out a little differently as well, but I think, you know what? We'll just do this. We'll make this like a big kitchen space is what we'll do. And then for the cashier counters, we're going to be using the small ones because of course we are. And I think what we'll do with those is, how many do we need? Like 3 of them, was it? for that particular restaurant? It was 3. Yeah, so that's kind of perfect. We'll go back into here. I'll get myself some food counters. And what I'd like to do is sort of spread this whole thing out a little bit. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get myself some walls here to make this feel like this is like a staff only space, I guess, is what it's going to be. It's completely unnecessary, but I think it'll be kind of cool. We'll do a door right about here. We can go in and set this up as a staff zone, which it should be. And then you have your little counter where you come and get your food, and this is the space where people can sit and chill. I think that's good. I think that's the way we go. Now it does want hedges, which I think is, I think these count. I want to just double check if they do. They don't. When it says hedges, does it mean this? That's, hold on, does it mean this? Let me just double check that. It does. Okay, well that's a lot easier. And there we go. We have ourselves a restaurant, and it seems kind of popular. Honestly, it seems like it's going to be pretty good. It needs to make 110 sales. It is, well, it's done. It's done that, which is great. So this place, I think, is going to do fantastic business around here. So that means we just need to look at getting a shop in here, which I'm pretty sure, again, yeah, we can do just about anything. We can do some jewelers. We could do some kind of alcohol place. I think I'm gonna do the jewelers just because that seems like a cool idea. So let's have a look and see what exactly they're gonna need, which I don't imagine is gonna be all that much. So a bunch of shelves and some cashier desks, and that's it. I've also not built any airline lounges yet, and I've seen a couple of comments mentioning the fact that I've not built any airline lounges yet, and you are completely right. I haven't done that yet. And I need to. I want to build some airline lounges. I really do. So at some point in the not too distant future, 100% we are going to be building some airline lounges. But it might be a today thing. I doubt it'll be a today thing, but you never know. I might get around to it at some point today. What I'll do for the time being though is get this the little counter space in here, which seems pretty good. And then in terms of shelves and all that good stuff, I mean, I think realistically we want a good amount of shelf space, right? So let's have some big displays up here by the counters. Let's do some wall mounted displays back here, since I think that's probably a good place for them. So we'll do something like that right back there. And then maybe some slightly smaller displays, maybe I think down here is a good place for some slightly smaller displays. Maybe one of the larger ones. Annoyingly, it won't go in the middle, so we'll stick with the slightly smaller ones, which will do this and we'll do this. So again, we have these nice displays down here. That seems pretty good. We could maybe do some pedestals. I think some pedestals would be great for this space right about here. We'll kind of space those out a little bit. And that maybe gives us a bit more space between the shelves than we would want, but it is a jeweler, and I'm kind of thinking that, you know, maybe they want to have that little bit of extra space. Maybe they want to I don't know, show things off a little bit, I guess is what they're kind of going to be doing. That's going to be my logic here. That's the logic that I'm going to go with, is they're showing things off a little bit, and so they have that little bit of extra space. Is there anything else I could put in here? We do have these kind of nice ones here, which I don't mind. I don't know if I want to put anything in this top wall though. I guess I could do this and this. I think that's all right. We'll do this as well. And then maybe some plants, maybe that for a bit of color, just to change things up in a couple of spots so that we have a little something different going on. We have a big old empty space here as well, which I don't love, but I think that's okay. Maybe just, I don't know, a couple of little plants there, something a bit different as well, just to kind of divide the space. I think that'll be all right. I don't mind that. And then in terms of a floor for this space, it's a jeweler. So let's go for this nice sort of tile flooring right here. That's, I don't love it, but you know what? We're going to stick with it. And you know, I think that's actually pretty solid. I'm really not expecting too many people to go in here, but, oh, never mind. Never mind. Wow. That, okay. Yeah. Oh my God. That's way more people than I was expecting. This place might do okay in terms of revenue. I think it'll be just fine. If anything, we might want more cashier counters, which, by the way, you've probably seen already. I decided to give them some carpet because I think that's going to be comfortable on their little feetsies. So they've got some carpets there since they're going to be standing around all day. Was not expecting that many people to rush in there, but that's good. We got ourselves a nice jeweler right there. We got ourselves a lovely, successful restaurant down here, and we've got security that is working beautifully on this international terminal. So I guess we can probably turn our attention towards moving the catering depot and the waste depot all the way down here. Now, my thinking with this is I don't know if this needs to be a part of the terminal or if this thing will just operate for the entire airport, because this is, as far as I'm aware, no, it's not the only catering depot now that I think about it. It probably does need to be a part of terminal, whatever this is. So what we'll do is we'll come down here, we'll go into aircraft infrastructure, and the catering depot is this guy. This is the one that needs the outside connection. So I'm going to build this thing right here. I think right down here in the corner is about the perfect place for it. And then the waste depot is going to go, I guess, something like this. And I think that's all right. I can't get it in there, but that's all right. I kind of like this being a little bit further away from everything. So we'll go for here, and then we'll keep this really, really simple. It's maybe doesn't make all that much sense to just have what is essentially a public road going right down here, but it means I can do this. It means I can move these things down to the bottom of the airport, and I don't have to worry about moving them later. It means I can move them now and then expand this terminal, which I think is going to look good. It means I can also sort of adjust this road a little bit, which I think is important too. So let's figure out what these roads are going to look like. So this is going to come up here, and this is going to sort of loop around a little bit. Now, I think what I'll do is we'll sort of cut straight up from here, and I think we can just go like this. I'm not really against just cutting straight through here and then turning maybe here, because I think it's still going to connect in this at this spot here. So we'll do, I think something like that is completely fine. So that's how traffic's going to get around. They're not going to be going out to here anymore. Bit of a longer drive, that's for sure. But again, I'm sort of okay with that. And I'm even thinking that maybe what we can do is throw a vehicle depot down here, or maybe right here, a little bit out of the way. In fact, we can do two of them, and that gives us some vehicle storage right down here at the bottom as well. And I think that's good. I think that's a good use of the space. It might take a second to build because it's a lot of stuff to build, but I do think that's a good use of the space. And you know what I've just noticed? Extending this terminal zone, the only thing that's worried about being in a terminal zone seems to be the vehicle garages. So I genuinely don't know if the catering and waste stuff actually needs to be in a terminal zone. I think I might have to experiment with that a little bit, because if it doesn't, then we can make some changes to this space as well. And I'm really not against doing that because I think we can probably get away with it. But for the time being, I'm going to play it safe. We'll get these things built down here. We'll get the roads in here. We'll get rid of the old ones, which I'm pretty sure I could just go ahead and do now. Let's be honest. So let's clear you out of there. Let's clear just all of this out and start moving the trucks down and around, because I would like, a little sooner than later, I would like to start extending this terminal a bit, because I'm kind of thinking that this is technically terminal 4. They're all numbered, you know, terminal 1, 3, and 4. That's fine. I don't know if I want to do a separate terminal zone for the extension to this, because what I'd like to do is get 3 more medium stands on this side of the terminal. I'm going to have to extend this concourse, which I'm completely fine with doing. We'll make it a little bit wider. Put 3 more medium stands on this side. And then I guess I probably could just extend this whole thing, double the number of medium stands, and then do a really short section for small aircraft on the right over here. That might be the way to do it. maybe we do just sort of duplicate this entire thing that I've built, turn it into just an extension of this terminal, 2 security areas, 2 check-in areas, 2 sets of baggage handling, just duplicate everything, copy it over, and we might be good doing that. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not really super worried about having small aircraft in here. They make a bit of money. I guess the only reason I really want them is because it's kind of been part of the plan this entire time. I've been saying this entire time we're going to get some general aviation in here. So the question I have to ask myself is, am I altering the deal, and are we all going to have to pray that I don't alter it any further? I don't know yet. Now, in other news, we are up to 113 flights today, which is absolutely fantastic. We have 97 scheduled for tomorrow, which is less fantastic. But the good news in all of that is that security is holding up just fine, at least in the international terminal. I haven't checked the other ones, but security is apparently doing quite well, although it does seem like we now don't have enough people actually working security, which I don't love that. I definitely don't love that we are occasionally seeing some of the checkpoints not staffed, but it does make me very excited to see so many people coming through here. And we do occasionally see a little bit of a queue forming at some of the passport checkpoints, but it never really seems to last. We're also seeing a bunch of people heading in here. We've done 54 out of 110 sales today, which is maybe a little bit low, but we've done 67,000 in revenue, which is kind of wild, although makes sense for an airport jewelry shop. This place is doing really well. 36,000 in revenue is great news. We're back above $12 million as well, which I absolutely love and adore. And furthermore, listen to me. Furthermore, I have moved the road that was previously going across the taxiways. I figured it would make more sense to send it to the right. Sorry, the right. Had to roll the R on that one. Anyway, we're sending it to the right because it just doesn't have to cut across the taxiways at all. I just don't know why it's apparently taking forever to build. Oh, that's, yeah, okay, there they are. Okay, there's a little bit of a parade of contractors heading over there to get that all built. But once it's built, we can provide the usual services to everything. And I guess while I'm waiting on that going on, I now have to make a decision. And that decision is, am I just going to copy and paste this entire thing? And I kind of want to. I'm not going to lie, but I don't know that I can copy and paste. And it doesn't look like I can actually copy and paste a terminal building. I think I have to place all of that manually. So this massive copy that I've just done, the game hasn't crashed yet, but thinking about it was probably a really bad idea to try and copy and paste this entire thing, because the game is really going to struggle because there's so many little things that I have in here. I've got all the security checkpoints, all of the queues, all of the check-in queues, all of the benches, the hedges, the walls, the windows. Oh, it worked. Oh, wow. Okay. Was not expecting that to work, but oh, all right. So if I was to build this here, that right there is where it would go. That's actually probably not going to leave me enough space on the right to do small aircraft. So do I double the number of medium aircraft? Do I increase? I think we do it by 50%. I think that's what we do. I don't think we do. I don't think we double this. And I think I can get away with just expanding the terminal space that we have, because I'm pretty sure the game hasn't frozen, but there we go. I'm pretty sure security here tends to handle things okay. So, oh boy. Okay. This is going to be something. Let me do some measuring here. So this is 4. So we want to just double the size of this entire thing. So 4 up to there, essentially. We'll have the same sort of security exit, I suppose. And I think that's about all we have to do, really, is just expand this part. I can't, well, I could expand the entire space up to here, and that would actually give me more room if I shuffle baggage claim and the bathroom and the security exit. If I shuffle all over to the right, we will be able to probably get 2 more medium security checkpoints in there. So I think we will just expand this entire thing, which is all right. This will be where the medium stands go. And I'm pretty sure I can plug this all into the existing baggage handling as well. So I actually think this might be the best way to do this. And then, like I said, we still have the ability to do some small aircraft in here. So let me just get rid of this wall that we're not going to be needing. And I'm going to have to figure out the best way to get this all set up quickly, because that's sort of the hope as well. And I suppose, you know, looking at this, I probably could get like 4 medium stands on this side if I really wanted to, if I just extend it up a little bit. Do I want to do that instead of expanding this space? Do I really want to send that kind of smoke into the security here? I don't know that I do. I don't know if that's a good idea, but if we have a look, I could do this. Hold on, let's try this out. 1, 2, 3. Oh, so I can do, I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to do that because that lines up so well. Yes, this little section of road is going to be a bit higher than I would like, but I think I can get away with this. And honestly, I don't even know that I need to bring road over here. I think I'm going to, but I don't think I need to. So let's get these taxiways in here. It's going to need to be 2x5 right there. It is 2x5 right about there. Same thing here, 2x5 and 2x5. And then this entire bit is 5x37. It cuts across down here as well. Doesn't need to be a wide taxiway because it's just for the medium aircraft. And this might be a bit more than this airport can handle, but I think we can still expand into this space. I think I can just about get away with this, and that's kind of exciting. Now, what's kind of cool about this is it's going to give us a slightly larger bathroom space over here and a slightly larger baggage handling space as well. And these 2 rooms do stand to get even larger because what's probably going to happen is we're going to have a little bit of excess space left over once I expand security. Although in saying that, they might also get smaller because I'm realizing that if I want to get another security checkpoint in here, it's going to be about as big as that bathroom. Everything is in flux, and that's okay. I don't want to rotate the screen. I hate doing that. really don't like doing that in games like this. We'll get a door right there though, and we'll wait for all of the walls down here to get taken out, which more or less all of them have been. We got a couple of little bits still sitting there, which is fine. But once all of those are gone, including that one right there, we can go in, we can extend the secure zone, and we can say that all of this is now going to be a part of that same secure zone, which is good. So we're nicely in the process of shuffling everything over. I've also managed to get this little exit space up here, which is great. So we can go into infrastructure, we can go to sidewalks, and we can just extend this over as well, so that this isn't going to be needed anymore. In fact, this entire thing, I think we can probably say, let's just bulldoze. I don't really need people coming in here. There's not really a whole lot of reason for that. So we can get rid of this thing completely. And then I think once this is all built, it's going to be a case of just slowly shuffling things over. So I guess we could start looking at how this baggage handling space is going to work, because I haven't really thought too much about that. And I would like it to be kind of cool looking. I'd like it to be a little bit better looking than what we have going on already. So let's figure out what exactly that's going to mean. I think we do something like this, and I think we do something like this. I think we're going to have something going along the wall, and I realize I'm basically building the exact same thing that I've built several times over already, and it is not in the least bit inspired. it's really, it's about the same thing that I've built plenty of times already. And there we go. We've expanded security. We've made the bathroom a little bit smaller. The baggage claim area is a little bit smaller as well, but it is a bigger security space, and that's hopefully going to be good for the 4 new stands. Now, something I'd like to experiment with a little bit is I'd like to look at my flight planner, and I want to look at some of these airlines that are a little bit unhappy with me, such as Crown Airlines. They don't love me right now, so I'm kind of wondering if I could maybe get away with saying that this particular stand is going to be exclusively for Crown Airlines. I don't know if it's a good idea to do that. I don't know if it's worth doing that, but I think it could be kind of interesting. And I think it could also be kind of cool to go and sort of turn all of the vehicles that work for this stand into a sort of purpley pinkish color to sort of match the branding of the airline. So these vehicles here, I'm going to make them a little bit less saturated so they don't look quite as ridiculous, but something like that. So it's kind of clearly, you know, their stand. I've got no idea if that's really going to work out. As it stands, that is the only stand that we are assigning to anybody right now. And I guess I could look at some other airlines as well. These guys, Atom Air, have a couple of different flights that they'd be interested in bringing in. So maybe this stand is for that airline. Maybe that's what we do. So if we have a look in here, they are right about there. And their logo is what, sort of a pinkish reddish thing? I think that's what we go for. So stand 17, I'm assuming, is this one. So let's try and get the vehicles on this to be, I really don't know what color we're looking for in this, I'm not gonna lie. We'll go for something kind of, I think that's about right. So let's paint these guys up to match that particular airline, and we'll see if that works. We'll see if it makes the airlines a little bit happier. That's another thing I've seen in the comments here and there, is people mentioning that you can assign stands to airlines and you can assign lounges to airlines as well. Now that's all stuff I would like to do at some point. Absolutely. That's sort of the plan somewhere down the line. So that's, you know, it'll happen sooner or later. But for now, let's just go ahead and lay out this really obnoxious. Wait, can I make this logo? Wait, I can just drag it out. Can I do that with a BHD logo? You can just drag it out. Oh my God. Okay. You would think I would know these things by now. That's kind of cool that you can make it like different sizes as well. Do I want to just make it huge? Do I want to do like just a big 6x4 right there? That seems a little silly. That does seem a little bit silly. I don't know if I want to, I don't quite know if I want to do it like this. Is that a bit much? That might be, it really might be a bit much. Let's just do this for the time being. I do like that by the looks of it, I can do it out here. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. I don't hate the idea of doing sort of the logo out here on the stand itself. I like that I can do it in the taxiway too. That's pretty cool. Let's just do, so I can't do a 6x6. That's unfortunate. Let's just do, yeah, I probably don't need to do the logo on the stand itself, but I'm going to, because I think it's kind of cool. So we'll do the Crown one there, and we'll get the, where's the Atom Air one? There it is. We'll do the Atom Air logo right about here. And we'll go and do the same thing right down here as well. So we can have the airline logos on the ground. I kind of need to get the BHD logo now in a couple of different places. So let's do it sort of underneath that door. I think it's kind of cool for the security space. I think we can do the same thing sort of over here underneath that door. And I think we could absolutely do the same thing right here. So you come into the airport and just get the big BHD logo. Obviously it's upside down, but you have to imagine you're coming in here. It wouldn't be upside down for the people coming into the airport, right? That's the idea there. Let's also do our logo right before security. I think that seems fair enough to do. Maybe something like that seems pretty cool. And we'll do the same thing just over here. We'll do our big old BHD logo there. So right before you go through security, you just, you know where you are, right? That's the idea. Now let's have a look at my flight planner and see, have we got anything coming in? We do have some Adam Air stuff there. We don't have much else, unfortunately, but we do have a lot of stuff available. So it's possible that we're going to see this flight planner start to throw some crown flights at us, which would be great. Same with the Adam Air ones. And then the other stands actually have just a bunch of stuff as well. So looking at those, we should, and we do, already have flights coming in here, which is absolutely beautiful news. These guys are all filtering through and doing their things as well. And so looking at this, as cool as it is to have branded stands, I'm almost wondering if it's just not worth it. Oh, there we go. We've got a crown flight coming in. We've got an Adam flight coming in down here as well. Everything's going around nice and smoothly. Everyone's getting off of both of those planes. We don't seem to have any major tailbacks in security here, which is absolutely fantastic news as well. And if we have a look, we are up to 124 out of 200 possible flights today. It's 122 tomorrow. I did manually schedule some of these, I'm not gonna lie. I did go in and turn off the flight planner because it was slightly bothering me that the game wasn't automatically scheduling them. And I realized part of that problem is because we do have some large crown flights up here. So once these flights are done, we might see things sort of shuffle around. We have some crown flights scheduled down here on some other medium stands as well. So it's possible that somewhere down the line we'll see some changes with the with those airlines. But for now, I think this is pretty solid. I think we've managed to sort of nicely expand things a little bit. I think we've really managed to nail security over here, even if it's not the most elegant solution. I did notice though, this place is not making as many sales as I was expecting. It is kind of struggling a little bit. It hasn't actually reached its sales target at all yet in the entire time that it's been here. This is actually the closest I've seen it to reaching its target, and even then it's still probably not going to do it. And that's wild considering how many people go in there, but I guess it is a jeweler's, so not everybody's interested in jewelry. This place, on the other hand, is doing just fine. It's never been better. So food definitely seems to be a winning, I don't know, recipe, I guess is the best way to put it. People like food. They are much less interested in airport jewelry, which that checks out. I've been through a couple of different jewelry places in airports. I've been to a lot of clothing stores in airports as well, and it's very expensive. I've bought a couple of things in airports here and there. I've bought some, like, I've told the stories before, and I'm about to wrap the episode up, so I'm not going to tell it again, but I did once buy a really nice coat in Edinburgh airport, and I don't know, have I bought anything? I've bought a lot of sunglasses. That's the other thing I always buy going through airports. Less so in the last couple of years because I have all the sunglasses I would want, with the exception of there's some really fancy, I hate to say it, but really expensive designer sunglasses that I've had my eye on for years, but I'm not the best at controlling myself and stopping myself from impulsively buying things, but even I can't justify looking at some sunglasses and being like, hey, it's $1,000 in a pair of sunglasses. That sounds reasonable. I haven't got it in me. Also, what are you guys complaining about? You can't pass customs. What? What do you mean you can't pass customs? I understand you guys complaining. You've somehow got in there and you're stuck, but I don't get where this complaint about you not being able to pass customs is coming from. Is that just like, hey, I can't leave the security area because there's so many people? Because that would make sense. That would definitely check out for what we're seeing going on here. And I don't know that there's a lot I can do about that. In fact, that does seem to be the exact problem. So again, I don't know that there's a lot I can do about that. And I mean, it's the same thing over here. We got a lot of people queuing up who just can't seem to get out of the airport, which, again, unless, I mean, okay, to say there's not a lot I can do about that is sort of a lie. I could rearrange this a little bit. I could probably go underground with it if I really wanted to. There is stuff I could do. I'm just not going to because I don't think it's that important. So it takes a little while to get through customs. That's normal. That's just how it is. Sometimes customs are really busy. If a bunch of flights have landed recently, you're gonna have to wait an extra 10 to. This is why I book so much. When I travel, people are like, hey, why do you have so much time on your layovers? I'll fly from Belfast to London and then be due to catch a flight to like Sweden or Germany. And I have like a 3 or 4 hour layover, usually 2 or 3 hours in London. And it's for that exact reason. I don't know if they're going to want me to go back through security to get into Heathrow, or if they're just going to let me go through. All depends on the airlines that you've booked on. So I give myself plenty of time to accommodate for the fact that Heathrow especially, you can get through. There's been flights where I've been going to Sweden and I get off a flight from Belfast and I'm into departures in 10 minutes. And there's others where it takes an hour because it's like, hey, for this flight, you've got to go right around and back through security. That's why I do it. So really, these massive queues to get out of the international terminal, actually quite realistic. It's like traffic jams in city skylines. It's actually kind of realistic if you think about it. It's not optimal, but it is it is realistic. Saying realistic about city skylines is maybe a stretch, but anyway, let's go ahead and leave it there for today. I think I've managed to put a pretty good dent in a few things that I wanted to do with the airports, or the airports and the terminals here. I do still want to mess around with airline lounges. I think that will boost our reputation with quite a few of the airlines. And I think that's going to be a fantastic thing. What is going on here? You know what? No, I'll figure out why this terminal's not quite as busy as it usually is in the next one. That's going to be a thing. And also small flights and airline lounges. That'll be for future me to worry about. Anyway, that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.